Have you ever looked at your kids' SAT practice score and thought they should be further ahead by now? Like they're smart, they're studying, they've watched YouTube videos, they've like done the Khan Academy, they've done the tutoring, right? But their score is still really stuck. It's like maybe it's a 1250 or 1380 or maybe it's a 1450, right? And they're trying to break that coveted 1500 kind of branch, right? But they keep missing like the same type of questions, and like every time they take another test, like you're just kind of praying like this is the one that really lands and really makes a jump, but the score really moves only like 20 points, or even it drops or it stays exactly the same, right? And if this sounds familiar, like you probably know the problem isn't really the effort, it's the direction that your student is kind of going in. Is actually most SAT prep is built backwards, right? So this is how it works usually. Like a student will take a practice test and like they'll get a score they don't like, and then the solution is basically, hey, like do more questions, more grammar, more math, more reading, and more practice tests, right? And like this works, which is why they do it, but it's extremely inefficient, right? Because only some of that extra work they do is going to be actually the targeted work they need, right? If your student keeps missing transition questions, for example, because like they choose based on vibes, like more random grammar questions is not going to fix that. And if they keep solving for x when the question asks for 2x, like obviously that's going to get them nowhere as well, right? This is why smart students plateau, and not because they're dumb, it's because the prep is too generic. And I get this personally. When I was studying for the SAT, I was trying like not to become really good. I needed the perfect score because I couldn't afford to pay for college without a full scholarship, right? So, and to get there, I had to really start treating the SAT not like I would treat school, because school rewards knowing content, right? It's not just a test. There's like essays and other things that also fit into it. But the SAT is very agnostic to all of that. It just like basically rewards pattern recognition, timing, like attention, and like knowing exactly why those wrong answers are tempting. And eventually I got that perfect 1600. I became the National Merit Scholar, and later I worked at Microsoft, JP Morgan, hedge funds, and other Fortune 500s, right, as a software engineer, among other roles, right? And this is because I actually learned something very specific from the SAT, and it's a very specific way of thinking. It's basically like trying to break down your weaknesses into patterns and diagnose them and train that exact like skill set that's causing that to fail, right? I use the same exact process with my students. My name is Manav Sharma, and I'm a perfect 1600 SAT scorer, National Merit Scholar, and private SAT tutor. And I've worked with about 250 students at this point, and I've seen an average increase of about like 150 points roughly. Michael, which is one of my recent students, went from like 1420 to 1560. Nina went from 1300 to 1520. Ava went from 1300 to 1420. And Alexis Grace went from 1080 to 1300. And their videos are all on my site. You can check that out after this. And basically, after working with a lot of students, you just kind of realize that like the patterns with all of them are kind of the same. Like most of them do not really need to work on 20 different concepts at the same time. Most of them really have like 2 or 3 patterns that are costing them points, and that's what I focus on in my coaching. I work with a very small number of students each month. Like you can look at my website and see the wait list. It's not a gimmick or like a fake countdown timer like you see on other websites. This is a very small cohort in which I look at their scores, where they want to go, and try to figure out in a custom plan on how to do that for them. Like the whole process starts with kind of an audit, and every missed question gets sorted into a real category, right? Not just math or reading. I want to know the actual cause, where they're like getting it wrong. Was it like a content gap or a pacing issue or like a trap answer? Like I will really want to drill deep into it, right? Do they know all the grammar rules, etc. Right? Do they not know like how to use Desmos properly? And are they wasting like 2 minutes on a question that should take all of 10 seconds, right? Then we start to address those gaps, and basically this is why one-on-one matters, right? Like a group class can't do this properly, and because your student just doesn't get the right amount of attention, right? Recorded video on YouTube also can't watch your student think, and Khan Academy also can't tell whether your student like missed the question because they lacked the concept or they got baited by an answer choice, right? A human tutor can, and I want to be clear, I don't work with an unlimited amount of students. I'm not a big tutoring agency. I'm not going to assign your kid to a random tutor from a roster. It's just me, and this is good because the coaching is very personal, but it also means that I can only take a very small number of students, and right now I only work with 6 per cohort. If it's full, it's full, right? And honestly, not every student is a very good fit. Like sometimes I don't work with freshmen, for example. If you want to choose cheapest possible tutoring, like this is not that. And if you want your student to like not have to do any work outside the sessions, this is also not that. And if you also want a massive group class, for some reason, this also isn't that either, right? But if your student's very serious and stuck, and you want someone who can actually diagnose what's holding them back, this is that. And you should reach out to me, basically. Just text me your student's current score and their target score and like your test date, basically all information that I may need. And I'm going to try to kind of basically like try to like give no weird pressure. Like there's no sales pitch. Like you'll basically get a clear read on what I would fix first. And like worst case, you basically send me a score report and get a clearer sense of what's really going on and what you need to fix. But best case, we work together, we fix the weak spots, and then your student walks into the SAT with an actual plan, right? Instead of just like vaguely hoping. So if you want me to take a look, just text me directly at 347-722-4114. My number should also be on my site as well. And the only really guarantee is like if your student keeps studying the same way, like they'll probably get the same kind of result. So at the minimum, an audit would be very helpful for them. Thank you.